Hey there everyone, this is Jessica from DomesticatedMe.com, and today I want to talk to you about my 50-pound weight loss. So if you want to know more and how I lost my 50 pounds, then let's get started. Now, if you read my blog, DomesticatedMe.com, and I really hope that you do, you already know about my weight loss. I talk about it a lot in a series that I started last year called Fit Fridays, and I'm doing it again this year. Fit Fridays are occasional Friday posts that I do that are health related. Sometimes I share healthy recipes, sometimes I talk about my personal weight loss and tips and things that I do to keep myself on track. Now, as I mentioned, I have lost 50 pounds from my heaviest weight. I was overweight pretty much my entire life, starting from childhood. And I was just one of those people that thought I was never going to be thinner. I was never going to be someone who was a healthy weight. I just always thought that I was going to be a large person for the rest of my life. But thankfully that changed. And how that changed was I went to study abroad in Spain, and I stayed with a family there. Now in Europe, and especially Spain, we all know that they're famous for their tapas. They eat small meals, or their portion sizes are very small. And just in general, Europeans are just a lot healthier than Americans are. Americans don't have the healthiest diet thanks to our fast food chains and our large sodas, and everyone remembers the film, the documentary Super Size Me. That is the saddest things about the diet here in the United States, is that our poor are overweight, which is something that we don't really see in Latin America and other impoverished countries. When you're poor, you look frail and you're thin, but not here in the United States. Our poor population is a large portion of them are obese because all they can afford are these fast food chains that we all know are not the healthiest. So I was very much a girl brought up on the American diet, but also on a Latin American diet. And if you are Latino, or I think you can relate to this across many cultures, but food is love. And the way that my parents showed me love is by giving me good portions and making sure that I ate and that I didn't leave anything on the table, because it was sinful to throw away food. So I was served large portions and I had to finish it all. Now, I'm not going to blame my family for my weight gain. I had a lot to do with it. I love unhealthy food. I still do. I still love unhealthy food, but I've learned to eat smaller portions and not as frequently as I used to. I'm Colombian, and I live off of parva, which is just Colombian baked breads. I love bread. I love bread. And that's something that I really don't indulge in a lot these days. I've actually learned to eat and love whole wheat bread, whole wheat toast. I love whole wheat toast. I don't eat butter. I only eat butter when I'm out at dinner. Every once in a while I'll put real butter on my bread, but otherwise it's, all of these healthier alternatives. And that's what I've learned to do throughout my diet, is find healthy alternatives to the food that I love. And on Fit Fridays, I share some of the recipes that help me lose the weight. Now, I told you that I was going to mention how I lost my 50 pounds. Well, I'll do that throughout the series, talk about my tips, my tricks. Obviously changing my portions was a huge part of it. And look, it's weight loss. It's not, there are people out there who want to sell you pills and juices and all that. I'm not saying that they don't all work, but there's no mystery to weight loss. It's all about diet and all about exercise. So I changed my diet and I became way more active in Europe. But my big trick and my big secret, I guess you can call it a secret, it's not a secret, I always talk about it, is my sugary drinks. Totally got rid of sugary drinks. Growing up in the US, in my home, we had tons of iced tea. We lived off of iced tea. So my aunt, who was the cook for the family, she'd buy these jugs that they sell in the supermarket of powder iced tea mix, and so she would pour that in pitchers. And I received the shock of my life one day when I saw her actually make the iced tea and noticed that not only was she mixing that powder into the pitcher of water, but on top of that she added more sugar. And that's the moment where I just said, oh my God, how much sugar am I actually consuming here? And that's just the drink, right? We're not talking about our food, we're not talking about our snacks and our desserts and all that. So that I remember that being a shock to me, but it didn't stop me from drinking sugary drinks. It was in Europe when my host family would serve dinner with water that was the moment that I stopped drinking sugary drinks, because I was shy and I wasn't gonna tell this host family, no, I don't want water, can you give me a soda or something like that. So I ate my meal with water, which is something that I've never done before. Meals with water, ugh, no. But I do like water. I love water now, but I did like water, but it was just not something that I would drink with my meal. I needed something else with my meal. Iced tea, soda, what have you, sugary drinks, right? So because I was so shy, I was like, sure, I will eat this meal with water. And then after I was finished with my meals, that's when they would offer me a glass of juice or soda. But by then I was full and satisfied and I didn't need to drink it, so I didn't. And let me tell you, I lost 10 pounds like that. It just melted off. It's amazing how much you can lose by cutting out one thing out of your diet. And I'm not a big fan of cutting things out of my diet. I think we shouldn't deprive ourselves from the things that we love and enjoy and are part of our culture. But I don't need sugary drinks in my life. I don't have to have iced tea. I don't have to have soda. It's fine. I eat my meals mainly with water. I mostly consume water. And when I need something a little more refreshing, especially during summer, what I do is I mix seltzer water with a little bit of cranberry juice, a little bit of orange juice, and that satisfied me. Or I'll make, juices on my own, but without sugar. Just the natural fruits, the sugar from the fruits is enough to quench my thirst and that need for a little bit of sugary drink. I love juices now, green juices, fruit juices without any sugar, the ones that I make at home in my juicer or in my blender. That's enough for me. So there you have it. That is my first Fit Friday tip for you, how I lost 50 pounds by cutting out sugary drink and replacing it with water, or freshly homemade juices that I make myself in my blender and in my juicer. If you want to know more about how I lost 50 pounds and learn some tricks and recipes and some tips on how you can lose weight, then make sure that you go to domesticatedme.com and check out my Fit Fridays post. Not only the ones coming up, but some from last year as well. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure that you're subscribed if you're not already, and check the info section below because I have all of my other social media channels on that. My Instagram, my Twitter, my Facebook, etc. They're all there. I also have my P.O. box listed below, and it's not just for brands to send me things. I want you to feel free to write me a letter. That's one of my New Year's resolutions, is to write more letters to people that my friends, my family, and to anyone out there who wants to have a letter conversation, a letter exchange. Please feel free to write me at that address below. Thanks again for watching, and stay tuned.